Right guys, we're going to do a little octopus leg bait today, and that's onto a dingle dangle. Often when we're fishing in the reef or in certain areas, there's a lot of pickers in the water. By pickers I mean small little fish that pick at our baits, and if you put a soft bait out there, it lands and a few seconds later your bait's gone and your chance of catching a fish is quite low. So as you know, a little occy leg is very tough, and it can last in the water quite long, and the pickers can pick at it for long, and while they're picking at it, it can attract the attention of the big fish and that'll come and grab your bait. So that's why we like to use occy leg when there's a lot of small fish around it picking at your bait. It's tough and it can stay in the zone much longer and give you that opportunity to catch a big fish. Well, what species would we target with this bait? Anything from edible fish or your cob, your reef species, right through to non-eds like duckbill, smoothhounds, etc. Normally when I throw this bait, I target cob specifically, and as I said, it's tough and I really like it just to get in the zone and wait for the better fish to come. Okay, so this is quite a rough bait. It's not going to be a very attractive bait, but this has all got to do with the occy leg and the toughness of it. So I've got an occy leg here and another piece of the base section which I'm going to use, and I'm just going to clean it up a little bit and take my dingle, look at the length of the dingle, and have two pieces like that. So there's an occy leg there and two bigger pieces. I want to bulk up the bait nicely, especially because I'm targeting a cob, so I'm using these fat pieces to bulk it up, and then this feeler is going to be placed on top of the bait. Take my hook, put it through the dingle. It's easier to make the bait when it's attached to the hook already. And as you're aware, the dingle's got flotation in it. That's going to lift the bait off the ground, give it a bit of movement, and then the clip for your sinker when you're casting to have a nice aerodynamic flight through the air and get the maximum distance. Right, so first step, and what's important about this bait is that it's an upside down occy leg bait. So the feeler is showing up towards the line. So it's going to bend back in the water like that and just give it a different action. When you cast it, it's going to fly nicely through the air because the feelers are showing back that way, but in the water it'll look like an octopus leg just fiddling around like that. So not too much finesse on this bait. I'm just going to cotton that on like that, not cleaning off anything. I'm going to keep it as natural as possible. Right, so we've got that on there, and then I'm basically just going to take these pieces like this and add it onto the bait. This is really not an attractive bait at all. It's all about the smell of the occy leg and the toughness of it. So as you can see, I'm putting quite a lot of cotton on because you are going to have these little pickers picking at it, and so I use a nice tough thick cotton for this bait. So the last thing you want is the bait to come off very quickly. I'm putting quite a lot of cotton on, shaping it a little bit so it's got a bit of shape at least. So it's not, the whole point is not to have an attractive bait. It's all about the smell of the occy leg and the toughness about it. Right, so after you put a lot of cotton on, normal story, finish off the cotton with half inches over your hook shank, with a bend of your hook there, and that's done. So in the water, it'll look like a little octopus with a leg moving around, and when you cast it, it'll fly through the air nice and evenly, so you get a lot of distance, and then you've got that smell and the toughness to the bait. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's a nice little bait. It actually looks very tasty, and it'll be very difficult for a fish to swim past this if it sees it. The species I would target with this is edible fish, definitely cob, fishing in the reef, anything from a stumpy, speckled snapper, matahari, rockard type of species, and then for your non-eds, duckbill, hammerhead sharks, smooth hounds, those type of species. So very effective bait, and as you can see, so simple to make, and it's nice and strong, and it'll last long.